for this screen. Okay. So are we good? Sorry. Okay. So we've basically outlined the character, and now we're just gonna like fill in the face. So there's a few ways you can go about this. You can draw it out with brush or pencil, or also use lines. I think in this case, I might just try to use lines because like you can kind of like manipulate them pretty well. So I just drew it out without like pressing shift or anything. And then I can like change the size here, like by going on select and selecting the line. And you can also like add a contour point, like clicking on this white arrow and clicking control. You see that like plus sign there? And then you're creating a contour point that you can manipulate. And if you click add another one, that helps you like make it feel a bit more curved. So I'm gonna go back to line and make my second one here. If you click shift while doing it, it helps you make like perfect angles. But I'm just gonna not do that. Just like draw it out. And if you want to make it not as thick, just make sure you're clicking a smaller pencil size here. But you can also just manipulate it into a smaller width here. So I'll just make this the 6. And then just adding my contour points. But you can also just like manipulate it that with just the 2 points that you made here, which wanted to like be a bit more exact, kind of go about this way. And with these circular eyes, like I think the easiest way is to make 2 ellipses. I'll make the pencil line a 3. And it's kind of like eyeballing the shapes of them. Haha. And then clicking select to select the full shape, and then just moving it to fit. And it doesn't perfectly align with the drawn part. And if you wanted to do that, you can just add more contour points, or just manipulate these ones as they are here, and just make sure that you're using this white arrow. So I might add a few here to make it feel less like perfect in some way, like more organic. A bit wiggly. So now we can make the eyelids. I'm gonna go back to the line tool, and then I might just make it a 2 in thickness. And then I'm gonna go and make sure I'm drawing through the line. Cut this, cut. You don't necessarily have to repair these lines since you can't see it being cut off like before. And yeah, you don't really need to have like additional contour for these ones, but you can always add some more if you wanted to finesse it a bit. Just clicking, making sure I'm on the white arrowhead icon. And now we can make the pupils. And I'm clicking the fill tool. Just clicking in and filling in the shapes here. And without clicking shift, you can kind of like manipulate it to feel a bit more oblong. That's how you say it. And you can manipulate each contour point to feel like a bit, if you want it to make it feel a bit wobbly. And then the same idea goes for the frowning face. I'll have it like a 3. Just making a straight line first. And then just gonna curve it. And you can like move your mouse to fit the curvature. So this seems okay to me. There we go. Our finished guy. And now that we want to fill it in, but before that, I'm just gonna save first. I'm gonna move this over here. So I selected the full character, and then I'm gonna click this, and that means you're turning the line into color art. So that I have that. This should be like a color layer that I can access. I'm just gonna turn this into a hand-drawn workspace by going to Windows, and like drop down, turn it into hand-drawn, and you basically have everything the same vibe, but you have like color layers here now. So right now we're on the line layer, and clicking this, you access the color layer. And then I'm gonna go in with pink, just like fill in the guy. Might just make it a bit lighter. Let's go in with the white here. And make the eyelids like a bit darker. So, so there it is. As you see, there's only one frame of him, but if I want to extend it to maybe 60 frames, I'll go to the end of 60 frames and click F5. Now he's here the whole time. And I can do this in like different ways. You can, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask how many frames per second?
So I set it up to 25 frames per second, but you can animate on like 5s or 10s if you wanted to do that. So you can like animate him in a few different ways. You can redraw each frame, or you can also manipulate aspects of the image so that you don't have to redraw everything, but you can just like move like his frown and his eyebrows. So we can look at like the keyframes that you made here first to kind of like base our animation from. So we had basically he goes to a neutral face and then furrowed eyebrows and a smile.
Yeah.
So based on that, you can import each frame if you want to like trace the image. Or you can also have the frames off to the side, like on your desk to just base it off of. I think in this case, we can kind of have the frames like in our minds as we like animate the character. So right now I have it at a keyframe. And I'm gonna delete. I'm thinking how to do this first. Okay, wait. So I'm gonna have this at that keyframe for a moment. Save this. And then I'll make a keyframe here and just manipulate these eyebrows down. I'm just using like the contour arrow key here. Wait, that didn't save. I don't know why it didn't. Okay. Scrap that. Sorry. I'm gonna copy the image. So select copy and then paste the drawing object. So it's its own object now. And it doesn't copy the color with it. So you just have to do that here. I bet. So it's just like it's clicking on this square, just click Control Copy, and then right click Paste Layer Object. So the full layer is pasted. But wait. I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one was like, maybe you can. Yeah.
Okay, so you just copy the line layer and the color layer, space it into a new frame by like first deleting the space where you want the next frame to be. And then basically just manipulate the eyebrows just slightly to be feeling straight. So we kind of just have like a cut in the animation from this part here. Yeah, I think if you wanted to do this, I think it easier would be to start with the neutral keyframe, and then so then that way you can easily manipulate the eyebrows to be like orbs in the different ways. So so we have that. But if you wanted to like tween the animation, so like so that the mouth could like curve, like start curving instead of like cutting, you'd have to like make it into a simple rig. And I think I can show you that a bit later, but you might need to move on to like After Effects. We'd be running out of time for instruction. Yeah. It's like 315, 313.
That's not.
Yeah, that's like the Toonboom way. But it's not really, if it's like an update that I forgot about. I'm gonna try to squish them a bit and see if it tweens for me. Okay, so it does like acknowledge that when I move this shape, it automatically shifts for me. So if you wanted to like have the face do the same idea, you just have to draw the eyebrows, like the full face, I guess, the eyebrows, the eyes, and the mouth on a separate layer. And once you move them, they should like move with the keyframes. Yeah, yeah, that's the Toonboom way. Yeah, we can like try it out with After Effects now. And for sake of timing, I'll still use your character if that's okay. So we'll go into After Effects. Let's see. Yeah.
There you go from maybe like go or like I don't know. Something
That'd be fun to do that.
Brian Hurts saying spiritual.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like stickers.
Yeah, or no with pink pants.
Yeah, I should do that.
And I was gonna make stickers tile. Paint them, gloss them over and yellow green, which is similar. So climb up and I was gonna kind of do like style instead of stopping.
That sounds fun. I haven't spray painted anything before. Kind of want it. Or like walls.
Eat by my house.
But somewhat.
Okay, so I have After Effects open right now. I'm going to do new composition from footage and use the background as my first image that I'm going to import. Yeah, they're fun. Refresh. Oh, okay. This wanted me to refresh for some reason. I just clicked caps lock to show it. So which that's not really normal for it to do that, but and then I'm gonna import the next file, which is the animation file, which I have to export from from here. So I'm just gonna export the images of the animation. And you could put it into After Effects from this. So export, you can render right nodes here. Go to selected frames. I'll go to 50 since that's how long the animation is. And this is exporting. And now you have all these guys here. I can import the PNG sequence, or I can also just import just the one image. I think I'm gonna just import the one image. And I'm gonna go back to this composition, double clicking it, and then putting the image here. So, oops, it's really easy to zoom in and out. So I basically have the Toonboom image that we made, but with the After Effects process, we're gonna like actually draw the image first with bitmap if you want us to do that. I'm gonna get rid of the timeline view here. And I'm just gonna draw Hillary's blob. It's from my memory, but do you have like the image like paper? Thank you. I'll draw the first one. So it's using like the brush tool. Just gonna like make a blob. Start with his first frame. Thank you. I'm gonna go to like Magic Wand tool and go to my ink layer, which I'm just gonna rename to be the ink layer. Go back to the layer underneath. Make it like a dark purple. Fill. I'm gonna fill in the eyes. So I think you have to like reselect the eyes for this. Select the outside. Select the eyes in here. Yeah, okay. So sometimes with the magic wand, she does like some white lines around it. Sometimes it's like hard to get around that. So you might just have to paint the lines in. So just, oh yeah, this is the marker tool, and I'm on the fill. Yeah, I'm just on the fill layer.
Yeah, cause I was like, how are you not?
Yeah, so I'm just in the fill layer underneath the ink layer.
You don't have time to not done.
Just were you just filling on top of the lines, trying to avoid it? Oh,
Or I would just, this seems same vibe but different do it. I would just draw the lines on,
yeah, yeah.
like, or fill them and then just redraw the lines and then put that layer over top. So just going underneath seems, oh, just so much.
Yeah. And then also an easy way to access the color from before is just click the eyedrop tool here. Just click it and then it'll show the color in the foreground here. So I'm gonna export this as a PNG and call this animation frame 1. And for sake of timing, I'm not going to make another background. I'm going to go File, Import, File. So, okay, I'll just put in this little guy here. Oops. Okay, so I click the frame, click import. So make sure to double click on the composition here to go back to it. I'm gonna restart. Yeah, and so I'm just gonna transform it a bit, guess, to make it a bit smaller. So I click Control T and then this popped up. I think this is another like update. And I'm scaling it with this scale tool. And with this like link, if that's selected, it scales it in proportion. And then I'm gonna position it X, Y. Let's put it here, maybe. And then rotate it a bit. And I'm gonna key. So these these icons here are like keyframes. So I'm gonna key position, scale, and rotation. And then I'm gonna go here into the puppet position pin tool, just like that. And I'm gonna make like 3 pins. So that yes, we're back to it. I'm gonna first move the body, and then I'm gonna manipulate these parts to make it warp a bit. So I'm gonna go to move this part near the end of the animation, and then just position this guy up here. So now he's moving really slowly. You can like put this keyframe closer to the beginning so that he can move a bit quicker. Go back to the pin tool. So yeah, so the pins should line up with the character as it moves. I think I might change the position a bit here just to indicate that this is the next keyframe and just to make it a bit different. And then, so the next key, the guy is like a bit warped. So I'm going to click on this arrow, the selection tool, click on this guy. Oh. Okay, so you just click on the puppet layer right there. You can kind of just like manipulate it this way.
He's so wiggly.
You kind of and you can always have more pin tools to have more control, but I think 3 is like simple enough to get to where you need to go. So in a simplified way, this is like kind of Hillary's little guy. And you can like have a settle, like have the character settle in a bit with some like extra animation just before the last pose. We'll just like move it a bit down again. But like, because it's pretty slow. He settles this a bit with like a little glitch. So you can always move these keyframes and just like manipulate things to fit what you need to fit. The thing about like using the rig tool with After Effects is that you have to open each puppet pin to move each frame, like keyframe, if you needed to do that. So I'm just gonna do that a bit here to see how the settle works. Oops, I keep on pressing my tablet. But yeah, so there's a few ways you can go about it. I'm gonna save this composition to desktop in the same workshop folder. Let's name it workshop. Yeah, and I could like show you a bit of the rigging tool on Toonboom too. So you're on this character right now. And I'm gonna change this drop-down menu to be animating. And it'll just take a moment to like reconfigure. And I'm gonna click this hammer icon. That activates the breaking tool. I'm gonna go to tool properties and use kind of the same idea. There's different ways of like rigging. You can use like envelope, bone, curve, but in the same kind of like way of animating with After Effects, I'm gonna use the freeform mode, which is like kind of like the puppet pin. And I'm gonna put a pin for each corner of the image. And this makes a deformation drawing, like a chain right here. So, and then I'm gonna click on this to show the selected deformers. I think I should do that. I guess not. I'm gonna click. Okay, so just make sure you click the square here. And once you have this clicked, you see like these circles become green. I'm gonna keyframe this first, and then you'll see that there's a keyframe where the deformation chain is created. And see if I wanted to like squish the guy up or something like that. I can just do that here. Like you can like curve him a bit, make him a bit like swirly. And it automatically makes a keyframe for you.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can do that. Yeah, it's pretty fun. So you click this to play it. And in the same like essence of like After Effects, if you wanted to stretch out some frames, you can just like click on these keyframes and just move them to be more spread apart. Like so yeah, there's just the two options you can kind of work with. But we're kind of close to 4, so it's been like we just kind of start a bit late. If you guys like have some maybe like if you're open to work until like 4:15 to like work on the animation, you're welcome to do that. But we can also start a bit earlier tomorrow too. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like free to like stay a bit later. So, okay. So I'm just gonna save this. It's important to save frequently. Yeah, that went by a lot slower than I thought. It's like yeah, I guess I speak pretty slowly. It's like when I was like doing it like without speaking, you can kind of just like do it pretty quick and then like instructing you is a bit. Yeah, they go like so quick. I can like slow down the video, but then it warps the voice.